All right, hey guys.
It's rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
We're back!
We're back. It's just another TGK talk.
6,000 people just wet themselves.
We apologize for not putting on more content. I've been
Why?
running.
Why is that?
Well, actually, this is the reason. I'm trying to finish my feature script, and I told myself, I said, listen, I'm not going to do any more YouTube sketches until I finish my feature script as a reward. And I've been working on other, freelancing in the film community, as well as working on other
film community.
I appreciate your patience, and I'm sorry if you're upset.
They care. They don't care.
Yeah, not really.
They don't care.
Yeah, you got so much variety.
They don't care about us.
I want to talk about gun control and gun violence, and recently we've, Elliot Rogers went off in the UC Santa Barbara, I believe, and then I guess the other day there's another in Seattle. There's another shooting, and then in Canada, out on the East Coast, Moncton, Nova Scotia, there was a shooting where a young kid shot and killed some cops, and I did a tweet.
Well, that one was in Canada.
Yeah. Which is pretty rare.
So that goes against the whole American...
Yeah, no, but we've had massacres, gun violence in Canada, and not as much. Our population's a lot less, but it happens. But, you've all seen Bowling for Columbine, which I thought was a great movie. I love Michael Moore. You might call him a socialist, but we're Canadian, and his documentary Sicko was great. Bowling for Columbine's great.
I don't love him.
I do.
I
like
know
him.
he's good. Bowling for Columbine is good. I will admit that.
And anyways, so I did a tweet the other day. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, which is @TGK Films. I did a joke. The Moncton Massacre is sad, people dying, but the joke I said was, well, the bright side of that massacre is it wasn't civilians, like women, kids, innocent, it were cops. And some people, that was the joke, and I said hashtag too soon. And some people in my country, in Canada, got upset with it, understandably, but they don't know the backstory between me and the law, the cops, and lawyers. Anyways, we'll get to that. So what I want to talk about is this obsession with Americans and the rights to bear arms. Now, you've hopefully all seen Bowling for Columbine, and every time there's a massacre, and usually it's students getting killed, people that don't deserve to die, what is it? Charlton Heston, who's not alive, would do a NRA rally at that location right after the massacre. What I don't get is, why do we need guns? Like, think about it. For the military, I get it. For cops, I get it. But for civilians, because what? They want to hunt and kill animals? Is it worth a human life? I want to own a gun, but if every year 10,000 of my citizens, my fellow Americans, or my people are dying, is it worth those deaths versus me going to hunt to kill a deer?
Yeah, but the problem is that guns exist. You can't stop that guns. They exist. They're there. No,
but you could do what I'm thinking is, if the government was to say, okay, we are now it's now illegal for a civilian to own a gun.
Yeah.
We want to do, if you return guns and bullets back to the government, we'll reimburse you the money. This is what I'm saying. Is it worth the life? Because
then there's going to be people who buy the guns illegally anyways.
There'll be a black market, just like drugs, but we make the penalties extreme. If you get caught with a gun, automatic 20 years. The question is 10,000 people's innocent lives worth it? I guess it isn't. You'd rather have a gun than 10. Imagine 10,000 people just getting sprayed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you feel like, wow, is it worth the pain for the families, the sons and daughters? Just to own it,
but I don't think that you can, even if you have your way with the law that you're saying, if that just was put in place, you can't get rid of guns. It's too widespread. No matter what law you put in place, people are going to have them. And at this point, people want them to have them so badly.
Why? Why do you want
Because they feel like they want to protect themselves from the people who do illegally purchase guns. Because people are going to illegally purchase guns, whether legal or not. Okay. They're going to come into their house, and they want to be able to protect themselves from those people.
But if you look at the statistics, if Bowling for Columbine stats are right, like Japan, gun violence, 4 people die from gun violence. Why is that? Why in Japan? Why is that? Why can't
because
that
for
be the
some
same
reason in their society, they're able to...
I'm going to fire up a joint, by the way, which I bought legally in Vancouver at a medical dispensary. Think about that. I need this weed to calm my nerves, because when I think about gun violence and gun control, it really is stupid. But do you agree that... Why do you own a gun?
No, I agree that they're not necessarily, we need to own them and everyone needs to have them, but it's also, I agree with that it's impossible to get rid of them. Because they're so widespread, they're in the public's view, especially American culture. They want to have it. They need to have these guns.
It's easily get rid of it. Every gun...
Not at this point.
Every gun is
Not
registered. Every gun's registered. So if the government was to spend some money, they can't because your country's broke. But if it's worth 10,000 lives, which I think it is, the government can go to every person registered and go to that person, write the email letter saying, you need to return your gun, we'll reimburse you. You don't need it anymore. Because why? Because our law enforcement should be good enough, our laws should be good enough so you don't need to be in fear. But, like, that's the problem with Americans. They live, like, in fear. They think, I'm going to get robbed, so I need a gun to kill everyone. But it's like, what about those innocent people? Like, when Elliot Rogers killed those people, I saw the father, I guess he killed a guy in the deli, the student, the 60-year-old man, his only son, and I watched him be interviewed, and I can't imagine, like, think about that, like, your son goes to school, and boom, there's a chance, you know, in the States, if you go to school, your chance of getting shot is a lot higher than anywhere in the world.
But okay, so let me just make the argument that someone who was on the pro-gun side would make is that was a very isolated incident, and majority of gun owners do not go out and spray their bullets in high school at high school students.
Right.
So
that's true.
So the majority of people who own guns do it legally, do it through the proper channels, and you can't judge all gun owners based on one isolated incident. That's what the argument would be made.
Yeah, no. But as a gun owner, if I owned a gun in the States and that's happening, I would return my gun. I'd be like, I don't need it. I could defend my home with a fucking bat, knives, golf clubs.
What about the argument that you hear about the incident, meaning, oh, well, that means that's a more reason to own a gun.
Oh.
Say no to drugs, kids.
I have insomnia, so I don't get it. What are you talking about?
That incident, you're saying you look at that incident and you step back from that and go, wow, guns shouldn't be in our culture. They should
Americans
be
don't learn.
But someone else might look
every 6 months, 5 to 20 students get mauled. And not just mauled, even adults at like the post office get mauled by like people are dying in the States.
Yeah.
All the time, and people are like, well, whatever. Guns are profitable, so you know what? It's just whatever. It's like,
but what about there's also the argument that, okay, so there's all this gun violence in the U.S., so I need a gun to protect myself from all the gun violence.
That's stupid.
Which I agree is silly.
But if there were no guns, if you had a program to remove guns,
that's impossible. That's what I'm saying. I agree that that's a good thing, but I think that it's impossible. Really? It's too much. It's too much. And especially, have you heard about 3D printing's a new big thing, right?
You can
print a gun.
Yeah, but...
So to get rid of guns completely,
you can't.
I don't think you can.
Other countries have done it. Why can't the Americans do it? Well, but again, make the penalties really tough. Like, if you own a gun, guns are made to kill. Why do we need it? Why do we have to kill? Every animal has a right to live. A deer, a fucking duck, and humans. But I guess human value isn't worth much. A gun is worth more than a human life. That's what basically Americans are saying to each other, saying, well, you know what, I don't care, and obviously the president wants votes. If he was to do this, he'd lose because no one would vote for him because there's too many hillbillies.
Okay, whoa. There's too many gun owners. There's a pro-gun side.
You don't need a gun, people. I don't have a gun. A lot of people in other countries don't have guns, and they're having great lives and don't have to deal with, somebody who, if I'm upset and I'm a crazy psycho, if I couldn't get access to a gun, what am I going to use? A knife? But if you have a knife, you can run away from it. You can defend better against it. A gun, your chance of survival is very small. A guy points a gun at you, you're pretty much dead. Yeah. With a knife, you can run. So, anyways, gun control, gun violence. My opinion is that there should be no guns except for cops and the military.
Hold on. That opinion that there should be no guns
because it's not worth the life.
Possible.
Why?
Like I said, if you put that law in place, how are you going to fight against, or how are you going to argue against, 3/4 of a population that wants to own a gun, that already owns guns, and guns are
you gotta take them
already
back
in existence? How could you possibly do that?
Okay, easy. Okay, so the government says, okay, you know what? We've decided that we don't want to kill any more people, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to implement a program where because they have every gun that's legally registered, we can contact. You need to it's now mandatory law. You've got maybe a 12-month period to return your guns, we will reimburse you, and that's it.
Never.
And any guns,
it would never work.
Why wouldn't it work?
No one would do it.
Of course they wouldn't, because Americans are, I'm sorry, but you guys are stupid. Why? Because you rather have a gun in your hand and let 10,000 innocent people die to it. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't,
Yeah, put it out there, man.
Right?
It's your opinion.
As well, we've got now, as per capita, we have more guns per person than the United States do. But, we have
Canada? Because the population is smaller.
Yeah, so according, if the Michael Moore stats are correct, then yeah, we've got more guns per person than you guys do, but we have massacres, which we just recently had, but it's very seldom. And,
why do you think that is?
Well, let's talk about Elliot Rogers first.
I hate all of you. Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood. And rightfully so.
So Elliot Rogers, here's a guy, handsome dude, who had some, I guess he's obviously mentally ill. Doesn't sound mentally ill.
I think, it's weird, right? He's like...
He doesn't sound mentally ill, but he just was a loner.
He sounds a little bit...
But he's, whatever. I
don't know if it's mentally ill, but it's like Asperger's or something.
Yeah,
or
he's got some issues.
Socially, I think he's really handicapped.
And it's
socially handicapped.
It's really a shame. And the shitty part is he took it out on a bunch of students. Now, a couple of things. One, if there were no guns, what would he? He did kill 3 roommates with a knife. And it's funny, I saw the photos of the 3 roommates, and they look like all exchange students from Asia, and they must have been sleeping, because Elliot Rogers isn't a big guy, and he must have just come from behind, slashed his throats, but anyways, that's pretty sad. But
I didn't know that, so that happened earlier in the day, and then
he killed his 3 roommates. They all look like exchange students.
Okay.
Got into his car, went out, and then shot and killed 3 other students. 2 women and another guy with a gun, and they killed himself. So, anyways, Elliot Rogers, he obviously is very misogynistic. It was a hater and took it to the next level with a gun. Again, if there were no guns, they would be alive.
The knife.
The knife, no, they wouldn't. But that'd be. But there you go.
There's your knife argument.
There is a knife argument. You cannot stop humans from killing humans, but I think you can minimize it because I don't think guns need to be out there in the world.
But the thing is, so make guns illegal, right? The guys.
I think guns, should only be military and police, law enforcement. Humans don't need it.
Don't you think that the guys who are gonna do this will find a way to get a gun anyway?
Not if they're illegal. Not if you can't,
Heroin's illegal. People grab that.
No, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. But I'm talking about make the penalties higher.
Yeah.
Stiff penalties. You own a gun. It's if you say, hey, you got a gun, automatic, 20 years. Because if removing one gun, if that saves one human life, what's that worth? That's a life sentence to me. If a guy's got a gun, life sentence.
Is there a different solution other than just taking all the guns out?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that I don't think it's impossible. I mean, people thought going to the moon was impossible or flying.
But
it happened.
Do you know what I think it's the same as trying to the Prohibition, trying to take out alcohol. I think the same thing would happen when they tried to make alcohol legal. It was too widespread. You could make it yourself. It just became a black market item. The gangs grew in power because they were able to sell it and make a profit from it. I think the same thing would happen with guns. You make guns, take guns out of the system and make them hard to buy legally. The black market for guns then builds, and then all that underground black market community to selling the guns then grows because they're making more of a profit from it.
Yeah, well, I think you can, if you remove all the guns and there's a few on the black market...
It won't just be a few, though, because if you can't buy it... It's the same thing with weed, right? Weed was illegal, so it was being sold illegal widespread. Now it's slowly starting to become more legal, and what's happening? All the drug companies in the Mexican cartel, they're just like, we can't sell weed anymore. There's no point. Because people can just get it, so we're not making any money off it.
No, but yeah, I know. But with guns, it's a limited supply. So weed or alcohol, you can make you can't. It's really hard for a guy to make a gun out of scratch.
Right.
Right. So there's a limited supply. You remove what you can. There's a bunch in the black market, but eventually, over time, the black market, those guns prices, because supply and demand, those guns, a handgun will probably cost you 10, 20 grand now, and only the rich will afford it because of the supply, because you've got millions of people wanting to get it. So, and eventually over time, I'm hoping they would all come off the market with people getting caught.
I kind of feel like if you did that and there was that market that grew, they would eventually grow to the point where they could just produce their own guns. I think that they would make enough money to be able to produce their own guns in the black market. I think that would happen.
Really building the machinery, maybe.
Honestly, man, I think you're underestimating the amount of money that goes into that, the amount of money that they could build in an infrastructure and then create their own guns and sell them that way. I don't think there's a way to get rid of them.
So you're saying, well, people die, it's too bad, so keep selling guns to everybody?
I don't think that they should keep selling guns, but I don't think that you can stop it. I think it's hopeless. It's a hopeless situation.
Like the war on drugs.
It's hopeless, man.
The war on drugs is hopeless.
We are fucked. There's no fighting it.
Well, you can't fight drugs. As you can
well, the drugs, I think, should just be legal. Every drug should be legal.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that. And tax it and then make the money. And
because there's how many incidents are there guys running around poking other people with their heroin needles? It's not like they're hurting. With drugs, you're just doing it to yourself. So just make it legal. Let people do it to themselves. With a gun, it's like you're putting people around you in danger because you're shooting people around you. So
yeah,
I agree that that's more of an issue. Drugs that's the stupidest thing, the war on drugs, I've ever heard.
That's actually a good point. Because yeah, I mean,
you're not running around shoving joints in people's mouths and hurting people.
And people are like, oh no, if drugs legal, then would be more. I don't think there would be more.
There would be no crime.
Yeah,
crime would drop significantly.
There'd be no less people in jail. There'd be no drug dealers.
There'd be no drug dealers. If you could just buy drugs anywhere, any drug you want, buy it, have it. It's yours. The crime would drop, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, again, like statistically, I think what is it? Still, booze and cigarettes kill more people than drugs, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Alcohol's fucking number one killer. Or maybe cigarettes. Actually, maybe cigarettes might be the number one. But alcohol and cigarettes and they're legal, and they're the worst fucking drugs out there.
Anyways, I'm kind of stoned now. Then in Canada, we had the other day a massacre in Moncton, which is a small town of 10,000. And
okay, this one I didn't hear about.
This 24-year-old kid who just, again, had issues.
Do we know what issues?
I don't know. He was a gun nut, and he's just one of those guys.
Okay.
He shot at cops, killed 3 cops, and injured 2 others. Then shit
That's like
happened.
that.
He's like Rambo.
Or that movie Rampage by that shitty director that
Uwe Boll?
Yeah, Uwe Boll.
I never saw it.
Oh, you see the movie called Rampage where it's the exact same thing. A guy just is like full armor and he walks around the streets with weapons.
In downtown Tenderville is caused by a heavily armed individual firing randomly at innocent bystanders.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
But I heard it and I was like, and I've got a weird sense of humor, but so I tweeted that something like, oh, it's a tragic day in the Moncton massacre, but on the bright side, at least it was cops. Hashtag.
Oh my God.
Hashtag too soon. Some comedians do that. So then
comedians.
So I don't know. I guess moments later, I got into
that.
a Twitter argument with some people because they thought it was insensitive and yada yada yada.
Well, it is.
And then all of a sudden, and then they used the race card on me.
Whatever.
Then they got racist on me and calling me like, slanty-eyed, FOB,
oh, really?
and all that stuff, which is kind of funny. Then I responded, well, the shooter was white, so then does that mean you? It's just anyways, you got stupid. The guy became an internet tough guy.
We'll do screenshots.
Yeah,
right
I guess.
Here.
Yeah, I have it.
And right here.
But I think they took down the guy who went racist on me, and the one woman who agreed took their tweets down. But I had
they did?
I had some backlash. I had some backlash.
You took screenshots.
Because I wasn't thinking about it.
Now there's no screenshots, so it is for
we
nothing.
can look it up. We can still look it up. Who knows? Maybe it's cached somewhere or whatever. But yeah, and then I guess one person took screenshots of my tweets. This is what I heard from a friend, and that person tweeted like BC Film and VFS saying like to boycott, not to hire this guy in the film community. And I think, I don't know who responded, but I think VFS responded saying we have no affiliation with this guy. Because I guess someone went onto my webpage and
VFS
whatever.
is the school we graduated from.
Yeah, anyways, you know what, like I say, there's no one, well, then it's just funny. Some people tweeted, well, no one deserves to die. And I'm like, well, you know what? There are some people that do deserve to die. Who are those people? I think rapists, pedophiles, the Nazis. I think Donald Sterling.
Nazis.
Anyone,
Donald
committed a murder. He'll die a billionaire. But, he's 81. He's living a great life.
I just let you through that one.
but But yeah, anyways, and the reason, anyways, I've had really bad experiences with cops and lawyers. I should have said lawyers too. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, it was a joke. I don't like really cops. But you know what? What I really meant was, if there's going to be a gun massacre anywhere in the world, I hate seeing innocent, civilians, whether it's men, women, and kids. But if a gun massacre happens and there's a bunch of cops, or military even, but cops, or a bunch of lawyers, I'm like, well, at least it was them and not kids and innocent women and men. But
I just want to say I'm not affiliated. I'm not affiliated with this guy.
Yeah.
I am my own entity.
Sure. He's white.
Yeah,
so he's not white is right. Yellow is
I do not share the opinion of
yeah.
this man. You choose any profession, there's going to be a
Always
certain
bad
percentage.
seeds.
Yeah. I mean, you choose like a meat packer. There's
bad
going to be
meat
guys
packers.
who are meat packers who are dicks and are following the regulations, which puts thousands of millions of people in danger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, of course there's shitty cops. Oh, there's someone coming up here.
Oh, that's fine. We can keep talking. So
They're staring at us.
that's fine. Cops, guns.
Theo gets flustered when there's an audience.
Yeah, I think it's the weeds kicked in. I know cops who've stolen, like they'll steal from, like if they see stuff, they keep it, whether it's cash, drugs, jewelry. There's cops that currently that are in service that party and do drugs.
A little bonus.
Yeah, they party and do drugs, so they're breaking the law. So
Little bonus. I like that.
So yeah, like they're, like end of the day, humans are humans. Nobody's perfect, but I think I don't know, the whole fucking.
You just want to live in a perfect world.
That'd be nice. My point again is I think it'd be nice to be in a world where people aren't dying by guns, innocent people. That'd be great. Also, that if there was a massacre, I bet you guys would pick cops over anybody else if you had to pick. And again, my tweet I sent, I still stand by it. I think it's dark
Put
comedy.
the tweet up.
I put the tweet up, and yeah, so if you want, you could look it up. But anyways,
Is that it?
any final comments, final words? Well, thanks for subscribing. Until next time, if you have a topic you want us to chat about, we'll do it. And we got skits coming, and they're going to blow your mind. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm parched. I need a drink.
He's got the pasties.
I got dry mouth.
The pasties.
Okay. Bye. Sayonara.
Bye, guys.
Au revoir.
Sorry for that.
Yeah. NWA, fuck the police. Body count. Body count. Remember that song Cop Killer by Body Count Ice-T?
No.
Body count.
I know
Yeah.
fuck the police. Fuck the
NWA.
police. That's it, though. I
Yeah.
don't know any other lyrics.
Great song. Okay. All right.
Are we bad at goodbyes?
We're worse because we don't want to say goodbye.
Yeah, we just want to hold on to you. We want to hold on to you guys.